Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability community. This community is for busy moms who are looking to feel more confident, who are looking to get stronger, to have more energy, to get all of those results while learning very simple habits and changes that are going to allow you to reach your goals without having to get up your wine and cheese or your beer pizza or whatever that guilty pleasure or vice may be. So, in this group, it's more of a community than it is a group. So, I want you to interact with one another. I want you to interact in the comments. Maybe you're watching this replay on YouTube. Make sure you jump into the community. That link is in the description below this. In here, we connect with one another. I hold certain events and challenges and offers programs that are only really available inside this community. So you are here and I'm excited to have you here. There are 3 ways to get the most out of this call. Number 1 is being here live by clicking that little Zoom link above my head. Every single week, you will get an anticipation email. So on Wednesdays, you'll get us saying, hey, we're going to teach this tomorrow with the Zoom link. As well as an hour before this call, you also get an email. If you are not on our email list, drop email in the comments below, and I will make sure to get you a link so I can grab your email so that you can get those updates and reminders. I also send out bonus content. I send out freebies throughout the month. So if you want any of that stuff coming directly to your email, so you don't have to be on social media, drop email in the comments below and we'll make sure you're on the email list. So click that little Zoom link above my head, jump into the Zoom room. That is where you get the most out of these calls. The second way to get the most out of these calls is by being live on Facebook or just being live here in some capacity. I want you to drop live in the comments if you are here watching on Facebook. The chat lives on. Let me know you are live by dropping #live, and also let me know who you are and where you're from. We've got people in this community from literally all over the 50 states. So with that being the case, let's connect with each other. Let's see, are we in the same area? If you saw my post this past weekend, I am local, so I'm in Lansing. For those of you who don't know me, I own Get Fit With Me and I run this group. But if you are Lansing based this fall, end of summer, fall, I'm going to be doing exercise/fitness experience in the morning on a weekend. So if you want to have access to that, just let me know by dropping experience in the comments below. And I will make sure that I get you all those details when it comes out. It will be posted right in this community. It'll be a great chance for you guys, if you are local, to get to know each other and meet up with each other in person. The number 3, the best way to get the most out of these calls is by dropping replay either here in the comments below on Facebook, or if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments of YouTube. Reason being, if I see you drop replay, if I see you drop your name, where you're from, you communicate in the chat, I know you are actually paying attention, and I know that I can reach out and ask some follow-up questions, see if you need any more support. So participate in the chat. I will be looking over, so you may see me kind of looking over. It's because I'm watching the live feed right now. So today's training, we're going to be talking about the important do's and don'ts when it comes to changing your diet. And I want to really stress that I'm not talking about you being put on a diet. I'm talking about your diet specifically and your nutrition habits. So there's a difference today. So I don't want those to get kind of confused. I'm not promoting a diet. I'm promoting you looking at your own overall diet, your nutrition, and we're looking at that. So before we dive completely into today's training, I love this topic because I find diet culture super fascinating. And there is hundreds of diets out there, and I can guarantee that all of us in this community have tried a diet at least once. So I have 2 little facts that I wanted to share with you. Did you know that the average adult will try about 126 different diets in their lifetime? So to put that in perspective, that 126 is a lot. Perspective is, if you start dieting at 20 and you only live till 80, that is 60 years of dieting, and that equals out to about, you've tried 2 diets a year for 60 years. That is crazy to me when I saw those numbers. And let's be honest, most women start dieting before the age of 20. unfortunately. So really think about, you're probably hitting more than 126 diets in your life. The other fact that I'm going to share here is evidence shows that there's a 98% failure rate of diets. It's said that more than half of all weight lost in diets is regained within 2 years. And by year 5, more than 80% of all weight loss is regained. Both those facts just are so mind-blowing to me. Why do I share those facts? These two facts share and show me two things. Fact number 1 shows me that we are never constant with whatever we do. We are always looking for that next, quickest, fastest, most gratifying thing that we can do, that we don't stick with the things long enough to see if it actually works. Hence trying 126 different diets in our lifetime. Even just trying 2 different diets a year, that's a lot. Our body takes time to adjust. It takes time to build habits and sustainability and maintain our consistency. So that first fact shows me that we're not consistent. We don't work long enough at something. We are so quick to jump to the next thing because we think we need the next quickest, fastest thing. That second fact, the one about there's a 98% failure rate. That fact right there shows me that diets are not sustainable long term. That they can be sustainable up to 2 years. They could be sustainable up to 5 years. And there's a very small percentage that will be sustainable long term. But if we look at those numbers, a majority of diets are not sustainable. Weight is regained. We're back to our old habits. We're back in our old ways, and we're on that hamster cycle again, on that hamster wheel going and going, oh, new one. Okay, lost all the weight, did the things I wanted to, oh, new one. So today I really want us thinking about how many diets have we tried in our lifetime? Can we even think? Is it more than we even know? Have you tried 5? Have you tried 10? You tried 15? The other thing I want you to think about is, when did you start your first diet? When did you start dieting? Was it at age 13? Was it at 16? Was it at 25? Was it at 30? Was it at 40? When did you start dieting? The last question I'm going to ask is, how many times have you tried the same diet that you did not see success with, but you tried it again because you thought it would work? And diets can be anything of keto, Whole30, Atkins, even taking appetite suppressant pills. It can mean intermittent fasting is technically a type of diet. Like, there are diets everywhere pushing at us all the time. There's paleo, I literally could go on and on and on with different types of diets. There's Atkins, there's the shakes, there's Slim Fast, there's this, there's that. There is diet, 21-day fix is a diet. There's all these different diets that are not sustainable long term. They may be sustainable for a couple years, but eventually studies show that we revert back to our old patterns because we have not fully changed our mindset around food, and we've not fully changed our habits. We've been restricting ourselves even in the slightest way, which has meant we go towards those things and we lose control when we get in front of the ice cream, the cookies, the brownies, maybe if it's the alcohol, because we don't know how to have them in moderation and balance each other out with having good quality proteins and veggies and things such as that. So I would love to know, before we move on here, from those 2 facts, which fact stood out to you as being more eye-opening? The one that we try about 126 different diets in our lifetime, or that the failure rate of diets is 98%? Which one of those 2 facts is more eye-opening to you? As you're thinking, I want to remind you that as I go through this, I'm going to be talking about some things. And if those 2 facts just made you think of, holy crap, I'm done dieting, I need to be done, I need a plan. I want help. Please tell me what I should focus on because I'm tired of being on this hamster wheel. Drop food in the comments below. You and I will set up a plan together. We'll set up a plan. We'll get you going on the right steps so that you can make sustainable long-term changes to your life. Just drop food in the comments. So what today's training is going to look like, just so you know, we're going to be going over the do's and don'ts. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing from my experience because I have tried diets. I tried diets from, I want to say, early high school all the way until I'm going to probably say my sophomore year of college. Freshman year, I still did not really have quite the knowledge, but by sophomore year, I'd taken enough classes in nutrition, I've taken enough classes in exercise that I started to finally get an understanding of why diets didn't work. So I'm going to be sharing from my experience, clients' experiences, research that I found, everything like that. But what I'm going to share today is not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not that thing that people are screaming from the rooftops of, oh my gosh, I hit my protein goal, or I ate all my vegetables, or oh, I'm drinking my water. They're super simple and they sound boring. But it's the super simple, boring things that we have to be consistent with, that we have to be able to change, that we have to be able to wrap our mind around and implement. We have to know that I need at least, I'm saying this in a general aspect, I need at least 100 grams of protein a day. That boils down to about 33 grams of protein per meal. How the heck do I make that work? I have clients who we implement that, and right there, they see automatic changes. It's not fancy. It's not sexy. We're just implementing protein. We're figuring out how to implement it in a way that it tastes good. So I really want you to think about, do you want to create something that is sustainable, maintainable long-term, that you can slowly take that weight off and know that I've hit my weight goal and I've been able to maintain it for 15 years? Or do you want to drop it quick, knowing that there's a possibility within the next 5 years you regain 80% of it back? It's up to you and what choice you choose to take. But I promise, if you choose the sustainable and the maintainable way, you're going to see long-term results and you will have less mental frustration and stress around your weight. So let's get into the how-to steps. And I'm going to kind of bounce around here from the do's and the don'ts. And I really love these. So first one, before you make any changes to your diet whatsoever, do a food log. Really get aware of what you are eating, how much you are eating, and create that awareness around it. I do food log audits. If you write a 1-week food log and you send it to me, I will give you feedback on where you need to make changes and also tell you where you are doing phenomenal at that doesn't need to have a change. So before you make any change to your diet, make sure you create a 1-week food log and you log your food so you create that awareness. Number 2 thing that you need to do is when you do that food log, these kind of pair together, is if you look at that food log and you realize that every single meal is just like not right. You're like, I'm not eating any vegetables ever. I don't eat any protein. All I'm eating is carbs. Don't focus on the whole day. Just start with one meal. And let's get that one meal dialed in. So before you go and try to fix your whole diet, start with just one area or one meal and let's fix that. And let's build that until your breakfasts look phenomenal. You feel great. Okay, now let's move on to your lunch and so on and so forth. We slowly build through micro habits, through micro changes. We're going to move on to the don't here for 2 of them. Do not cut everything out that you love. If a diet is telling you you cannot enjoy any of the things you would love and you enjoy and you indulge in, and any amount, don't do that. Because what that's going to lead to is, imagine you're a kid, and I can't be the only one that when I was younger that would be like, don't do this. What's my mind saying? You tell me no, I'm gonna go do it. So if you're told you can't have ice cream, you can't have pop, you can't have coffee, you can't have any chocolate, and you tell yourself no and you cut yourself off cold turkey, you're going to go right to it. You're going to binge it. You're going to feel bad and you're going to spiral no matter what it is. So do not go cold turkey on anything, and do not cut out anything that you love and enjoy completely. There is a moderation to both. There's a moderation to me having a little bit of ice cream at the end of the night to satisfy that craving I have, but also knowing that I feel great because I've balanced out the rest of my day. It takes time, but it is possible. Do prioritize your protein when you are making changes to your diet. One of the biggest things that is lacking is the amount of protein that somebody is eating. So aim for 20 to 30 grams. There is an equation that I can walk you through if you end up dropping food in the comments. As we set up your plan, we'll talk about how much protein you need. But prioritize your protein. Every meal should have a high quality source of protein. Do eat your vegetables. Think about, I hate measuring. I hate using a scale. I hate all of that requires some extra tool. I want to be able to look down or use my hand and think, yep, I've gotten a serving of vegetables. Are you getting at least 2 fistfuls of vegetables per day? Or are you getting no vegetables? Make sure you're getting at least 2 servings per day. Don't switch diets, no matter what you're doing. Don't switch diets all the time. If you choose to go for a diet, it's not something I promote, but if you choose, let's say, to go for Whole30, don't switch after 15 days because you didn't see your results. We have a consistency problem in the world. We are so fast to switch because we want instant gratification. Change in our body and in our mind and everything takes time. So we have to make sure that we are giving our body time to change. And this even goes, if you're creating sustainable and maintainable changes, it's going to take a while. The phrase that I use a lot is, if it's taken you 10 years to realize that you need to change your diet and that you'd like to lose a little weight, that you'd like to feel more confident, it's going to take more than 30, 60, 90, or even a year or 2. It's going to take time and it's going to feel long, but it's a marathon and not a sprint. And each day we chip away at it. Do drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Water is super important for not just our body's digestive system, but the way our joints and our muscles and our ligaments move. Water is important. So make sure that we're drinking our water. Don't cut out carbs. Carbs are important. If you are someone who's cut out carbs and you've wondered why your brain is so foggy, your body runs on carbs. It helps make you think clearer. So do not cut out carbs. Do not take pills that suppress your appetite. It may work short term, but if you're taking a pill now to suppress your appetite, as soon as you stop taking it, you are going to gain that weight back. Same thing goes with carbs. If you cut out carbs completely and then you decide to bring them back in, and you are going to go back very rapidly because that's just how it is. We can do a balance of it between, there's multiple different types of carbs, and we have to be aware of what type our body likes, what type our body doesn't. It creates more awareness. We get very aware of our body when we really tune in on sustainable and maintainable. Do eat more than 500 calories per day. We should not be eating anything less than 1,200 calories per day. Like, that is the absolute minimum, and really we should be having more than that, because there is an amount of calories that our body consumes, or that our body uses every single day to just be a human. And if you are not eating at least that much, your body is hanging on to whatever it can get, and it's putting in new starvation mode. It's creating really high stress levels internally and maybe even externally. And all that's going to do is make you hang on to that weight no matter how little of food you eat. So it is important that we eat enough food. Don't skip breakfast or other meals. And this also pertains to holidays. If you are someone who's like, I've done this holiday training, but if you're like, oh, big Thanksgiving dinner, I'm not going to eat all day because I'm going to eat at dinner. If you were to eat a breakfast and a lunch that were a little bit smaller in size, but had your protein, that had all of the things that your body needs to make you feel good, you will get to Thanksgiving and you will eat less throughout the day than you would if you skipped breakfast and lunch and you just ate dinner. Because by dinner time hits, we are ready to binge. We are ready to shove everything in our mouth that we end up overeating. So we do not want to skip meals. It's not healthy. We want to make sure we are fueling our body throughout the day. It's going to keep that energy up. It's going to keep those blood sugar levels equal all throughout the day. Track your habits. By tracking, you are going to see how consistent you are being or how consistent you are not being. Change is sustainable. Change is sustainable when it's easy to track and we have easy habits, and every single day we can look and see, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the thing. And I know tracking is a tool. And I really like using tracking just like I like using food logging. Food logging to me is, I will not food log for my entire life. I use food logging as a tool that allows me to create that awareness. When I feel like clothes are fitting a little tighter, I feel like I'm being consistent, but I don't really know, I go back into my tracking, I go back into my food log, and I get a sense of what is happening and what is not happening. And often, my mind is telling me I'm doing it all, but when I really look at it, I'm not. I'm just hitting short, and my brain's justifying like, oh, it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. But that adds up. So tracking your habits so you can clearly see what is happening and what's not is something you need to do. We and all of our clients, we use My Coach, which is a super awesome accountability app where you and I would create your actions for the day. We put them in. I can see in real time. You can see in real time what is happening, what's not, and we can start to see patterns. I can see okay, Jamie, you've missed 7 days in a row of breakfast for protein. What's going on there? Well, I'm just running out the door. I don't have any good options. Okay, let's create some good options. Let's figure out how you can get some prepped in advance. We can troubleshoot from there rather than just this, I'm not doing it. So My Coach allows us to break things down into a little bit simpler things. So when you guys are kind of thinking about your do's and don'ts, which do stood out to you the most and what don't stood out to you the most? Drop it in the comments below. Got just a few more things here before we wrap up, so stick with me. I know we're almost close. So I like to do what ifs, because we always have those what ifs of, well, what if a friend invites you out to eat and I'm trying to eat better? What do I do? Number one thing, you don't tell them no. If you want to go, you tell them yes and you go. But what we do is you prepare yourself. You don't skip meals earlier in the day. You look at the menu before time, you kind of get a good idea of it, and you think of, what do I need? Well, I haven't had a salad yet today, or, oh, I've hit my protein, I've hit my vegetables, I'm drinking good water. Oh, I'm gonna indulge in a margarita, and I'm gonna do chicken tacos or chicken nachos this time instead of barbacoa. Something like that, something that's a little leaner rather than something that's a little fattier. Preparing, looking at the menu in advance. I want you to go. We have a short life. Some days, some weeks, some months may feel really freaking long, but really life is short. And I never want somebody to feel like they cannot enjoy going out with friends, that they can't enjoy that drink, that they can't do things that they want to do because of a diet. Like, go have the chicken wings, go have the movie theater popcorn. Let's balance the rest of your day around that. So if a friend invites you to go out, when you are trying to eat better, choose your meal beforehand so that when you walk into that restaurant, you don't get stuck in, what do I want? Pick your meal beforehand. Tell them yes. Eat your meals beforehand. Eat your meals throughout the day beforehand so you're not waiting on starvation mode when you get there and you're ready to binge and smash all the chips at the Mexican restaurant. Make sure you've had your water if you're going to indulge in alcohol. One of the things that I do, because you guys know me, I like my beer, my wine, I like my cocktails. They're delicious. I enjoy them because they taste good. I will not create a cocktail at home or I will not go out to dinner at the end of the night unless I've had all my water in. Because I know how important this is for one, my appetite in my body, but also my recovery from indulging in those cocktails, whether it's one, two, three, whatever it is. Even just one, making sure we have our water intake is super important. So I would love to know, as we kind of wrap up here, is if you want me to sit down and create a plan with you, help figure out where you can get off of that hamster wheel of diets and actually create sustainable changes that you can maintain for a lifetime, drop food in the comments. I'm going to reach out and we'll have a conversation. We'll set up a time to meet. And I would love to know, what was your biggest takeaway from today? What was that one thing that stuck to you like glue? Was it a do? Was it a don't? Was it the what if? Or was it some of the facts that I shared at the beginning? What is stuck to you like glue? Drop it in the comments. And finally, I will see you all back here, same time, same place next week. We meet every single Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Next week is August 3rd. I can't believe July is over already. And we are going to be talking about how you can wake up feeling refreshed and recharged every morning. Sleep is a major part of our body's stress level, weight, strength, recovery, all the things. And often we're not waking up refreshed and recharged. So we're going to be talking about that next week. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to either shoot me a message or drop them in the comments below. Remember, this chat lives on. If you'd like support and we're out walking through a step with you, drop food. And if not, I will see you all next week, same time, same place. Have a great rest of your day.